Students, so let me continue in the unit B itself, that is the next session of chapter 10, inheritance. In this chapter, we have already seen introduction, need of inheritance in C++, defining derived classes in session 23. Today we are seeing the rest part, that's visibility modes and other things, that different forms of inheritance, a relationship between classes. We are going to see today's session. So we have understood the need of inheritance in C++ program, and we have already seen how to defining the derived class. Now in that we have seen the visibility modes. The visibility modes are used here, how exactly you are inheriting the properties of the base class, and how you will access in your derived class. So that visibility tells us. The visibility mode can be public, private, or protected. In the definition of the derived classes specifies whether features of these base class are privately or publicly or protectedly derived. The visibility mode basically controls the access specifier to be inheritable member of base class in the derived class. The first one is their public. If inheritance is done in public mode, the public member of base class becomes public member of derived classes, and protected member of a base class becomes the protected member of derived class. So whatever the member data and functions are there in a base class in public mode, that becomes a public mode itself in the derived class. At the same time, protected mode, if it is whatever is there, that also becomes protected mode in the derived class. But you cannot inherit private data or functions. So this is what this visibility mode tells us. Similar way, if your making visibility mode is private, if inheritance is done in a private mode, the public and protected members of base class become the private members of derived class. From there, if you are extending any inheritance, that time you cannot pass it to those member data or member functions. So keep it in your mind. In case if it is visibility mode, if it is private, whatever properties you are inheriting from the base class, that is protected data as well as public data, becomes private in the derived class. In case the mode is protected, and if inheritance is done in a protected mode, the public and protected members of base class become the protected member of the base class. So it's a clear cut information for us. If you do privately, then the public and the protected members becomes private for the derived class. If you do protected mode, then public and protected the data as well as function of members of the base class becomes protected in the derived class. Only when if you go for public, then the public data will retain as a public itself, and the protected data is retained as a protected itself. So these points, if you keep it in mind, then it will be easy for us. So make you clear by using the simple tabular manner. So if I use base class and at the same time and I'm getting derived class, then if it is access mode, I mean to say the visibility mode while inheriting, if it is public, private, protected in the case of base, if it is there, then in derived what it becomes. See, if it is in the base, if it is public is there, and if your inheriting mode is public, then it will retain as a public itself. And if you are inheriting privately, then that public data becomes private. And if you are inheriting a protected manner, then the public data becomes protected. Got it? So whatever the base class data, public if it is there, and visibility mode, if it is public is there, then it becomes public. If it is private means it becomes private. If it is visibility mode is there, protected means the member becomes protected in the derived class. In case the member data is private in the base class, if mode is public, visibility mode is public, so you cannot inherit. And private or protected, whatever mode, visibility mode, if it is there, the private data of the base class you cannot inherit in all three cases. So this gives an idea. Only in case if you are going the public and protected data, only you can inherit, but not private data. Similarly, the protected data of the base class can be inherited. In case visibility mode is public, then it becomes protected. In case if it is private mode is there, visibility mode, then in the derived class it becomes private. And protected, if it is there, it will retain as a protected itself. So this is the basic idea. The visibility modes, how it helps to inherit the data members or member functions in a derived class. So I'll make you clear. I'll take one by one visibility modes. So first let me take public inheritance. That is when base class is inherited as a public, that is visibility mode is a public, all public members of the base class becomes public members in the derived class also. So it retained as it is in case visibility mode is public. The private member of base class remain private to that class and are not accessible by members of the derived class. So whatever private data is there in base class, that we cannot inherit. And protected members of the base class stay protected in derived class. So you can access the protected data members, but it will stay in the derived class also as a protected only. So when I am explaining chapter 7, I had told you access specifier, public, private and protected. But protected usage was not there when if you are going for a general classes. So protected access specifier will be used only in case of if you are making use of inheritance. So that time it will become more familiar, or more usage will be there. So let me give you the general syntax what we are using to inherit in public mode, that is here. So your class keyword, and you are creating the subclass or a derived class, colon, single colon you are specifying, and then you are specifying the mode, visibility mode. So if you are going for public inheritance, then you are to specify visibility mode is public itself, and then you have to specify the name of the superclass or base class. And rest as it is, the class body will be there. In that you can specify any new additional data members, function members. So let me present a program to illustrate the public inheritance in C++ program in the next slide. Now I'll take one simple C++ program, and first let me take a base class. So I have taken here class shape, the shape type of class I created, and inside that class I have a private section is there, but I did not specify anything in the private section. In the public section I have created two member data, S1 and S2 of integer type, and this is I treated as a base class. Now I wanted to derive a class publicly. So what is the syntax we have to do? We have seen just now, that is the class keyword you have to use, and then you have to write the derived class name, that is your class keyword I used, rect I have used a derived class name, and then I have used colon, and the visibility mode is public, and then which is a base class? This is a base class, so I have made use of shape here as a base class. Now in this class private section I did not specify anything. In the public section I have used one member data called area of integer type. Now what I'll do, void compute one member function I used in this, and I defined area equal to S1 into S2. Now this S1 and S2, these are member data of base class. So I can make use of here in the derived class, because S1 and S2 both member data are in the base class in the public access specifier. So these S1 and S2 becomes public in the derived class also. So their access specifier is public only. So this is an idea for you people. So I'm going forward. Let me show you the main function. Yeah. So I've created main function of return type is void, and I've created object of derived class rect R. Now R is a object of rect, that is a derived class. Now what I'll do, r1.s1 equal to 10 I am doing. Now through derived object I am accessing the member data of base class. Similarly r.s2 equal to 20 I did. This is also the S2 is member data of base class I can access, provided these both member data should be in the public section or in protected section, then only we can access, otherwise we cannot access. But protected, if it is there also, we cannot access in the main. Protected is within that class we can use, and in the derived class we cannot use it in the main class. But this is public, it is there, so for that reason we could able to access in the main function. Now what I called r.compute I called. Now this compute member function is belongs to derived class. Now what it does, this will calculate the product of S1 and S2, and that will be assigned to the area member data which belongs to derived class rect. Now next statement what I am doing, see out rectangle area equal to, and I have used r dot area. Now this is anyway r is object of rect, and area also member data of the rect itself, so it will be displayed the value whatever it is having. So that means the output will be generated in this is the way, rectangle area equal to 200. Now S1 and S2 both member data of the base class, area is member data of the derived class, and compute is a member function of the derived class. We made use of all the base class also, derived class also, all the member data as well as member function, and we calculated the area of rectangle. This is the way the public inheritance, I mean to say publicly inherited properties to the derived class. So let me make you clear what is private inheritance. When a base class is inherited private, that is visible mode is private now, then all the public and protected members of base class become private in the derived class. See, I told you that tabular manner chart was there, which you people have just now seen. So what happens? Anyway, private data we cannot access in the derived class, but public and protected data we can access. But what happens that the public data and as well as protected data becomes private in the derived class. This means that they are still accessible by member of derived class but cannot access by the other parts of the program, because they becomes private in that derived class. You cannot access outside the class. Got it? Okay. So the private members of the base class cannot inherit it to the derived class. This is, we know it very well. So what is the syntax? Syntax just now. So what we have to do, instead of a public we have to make it private. That's it. Class keyword we have to use, and then a subclass colon, the visibility mode we are doing private, and then superclass or a base class. Let me show you program to illustrate private inheritance. So that is there in the next slide, and the base class. I have taken same example shape. Here what I did to make it clear, I have used a protected access specifier. Anyway, private I did not use because I cannot inherit in the derived class. That's the reason I did not specify anything in the private section. Now in the protected access specifier, in that place I have created two member data, that is S1 and S2, and in the public I have created int area. Okay, and in the public there is one more member function I have created, a compute also, and I computed area equal to product of S1 and S2. So the product will be saved in area. So this is a base class. So let me show you the derived class, which is privately inheriting. So the class rect, this is the derived class name, and colon I used, the mode I have wrote private, and the base class name is shape, which is I specified. Then I have used private section, nothing I have specified, and in the public section I have created one member function, enter sites I wrote, and then C in S1 and S2. Now I can access S1 and S2 here. Got it? Because now S1 and S2 in derived class, that is in the rect class, becomes private. Even though they are protected in the base class, here it becomes private. You cannot access outside this class. In the derived class, I have created one more member function, that is void display, and I called function compute, which is there in base class. Now what is this does? This is will be processed, and area will be found, and that value will be stored in the area. And next statement I am using rectangle area and displaying that area. Now here see, I used area because area is a member data here, even though it is in the public, but when it comes for the derived class it becomes private. Why? The visible mode is private. Now in the main function, I have created object of derived class, that is rect R. Now R is a object of rect, that is derived class. Now R data get data I did. So this member function I am calling, which is there in derived class in the public section, and R data display I called. So these function will be called here. I cannot, in the previous example when I used publicly inherited, that time in the main program itself, what I did in the main function, r.s1 equal to 10 I did. But here I can't. I cannot access s1 in the main because that becomes private in the derived class. So what I did, I reading part in the did in the within the class itself. Got it? Now according to this, what is the output generates? Now output when it generates, when get data it comes, it calls this function get data. So in the get data, enter the side it came. So enter the side it displayed, and you're supposed to enter the values s1 and s2. So 10 and 20 I entered. Now next one is there, what I've called r.display I called function. Now this function, the value will be calculated here by using compute, which is a member function of the base class, and then it displays a rectangle area, and in area already the value, the product of s1 and s2 is stored, that will be displayed. So 10 into 20 equal to 200, and that is displayed here. This is the way your private inheritance will be worked. So we have to keep it in our mind when you are going privately inheritance. So that time the whatever member data or member function in the base class specified in public mode or protected mode, both it will become private in the derived class. So this point we have to keep it in our mind. Going for the next one, that is protected inheritance. Now what is protected inheritance? When a base class is inherited as a protected, that visible mode is protected, then all public and protected member of base class, public and protected members of base class becomes protected member of derived class. What it becomes? protected member. So it is very simple. If you are going for private, it becomes private. If you are doing protected, means no, it becomes protected. Anyway, private data of the base class, it's not visible to derived class. You cannot access in the derived class. Got it? Yeah. They can only access through public or protected member function of a base class. Now here we can access only public and protected member function of the base class. Now in the derived class, the whatever inherited members, it becomes protected. So that we cannot access outside that class. So this is, you have to keep it in your mind. We cannot access those data outside the class because it is protected. If you are still inheriting one more level, if you are inheriting, that time those members can be accessed in that derived class, but not directly outside the derived class. So syntax, just giving you a pill, the class keyword by using, you are creating the subclass or derived class, colon you are making use of, and then you are specifying the visible mode, that is protected, and then super class name you have to specify, or base class name. Now just giving an idea for you people, that is example I am going to discuss, which is gives an idea for you people, protected inheritance with the base class having protected and public members, what happens in the derived class. So I'll make you clear by discussing this example. Now I've created base class that is the same shape. Now here in the private section I did not use anything. In the protected section I used two variables, that is S1 and S2. And in the public section I've used the function is compute. And what I did here, directly I returned S1 into S2. Directly I did. So here see, two types are there, protected as well as public is there. If I'm creating derived class by inheriting protected way, then how it works, how it appears, we will see. So I am protected way inheriting the class, that derived class is, this is the way. Class keyword I used, and then a derived class name I wrote. The visible mode is protected, and then base class name is shape I've specified. And in the private section I did not specify anything. So let me show you still. In the public section I've used two member function, that is one get data, and what I'm doing, see out enter the sites, see in S1 and S2. Now S1 and S2, these member data of base class, and access specifier is protected. And when it comes here, S1 and S2 becomes protected only. Okay, because visible mode is protected. And I'm using one more member function, that is void display, and here I'm just displaying rectangle area equal to compute calling, directly function I'm calling. Now this function is belongs to base class. In the public section it is there, but when it comes here, this function becomes protected to this derived class. Even though it is public in there in the base class, in the derived class it becomes protected because the inheriting visible mode is there, protected. Now from here, these if you are creating any object of the derived class, you cannot access outside S1, S2 and compute members outside this class. So let me show you the main function. In the main function, I've created void main and I've created object of derived class, that is rect R. R is a object of derived class, and I've called r.getData, r.display here. Now these both R function belongs to derived class, and it is there in the public section. Because of that, we could access in the main function. We cannot access S1, S2 or a compute in the main function because they are protected in this class. So this is what we have to keep it in your mind. And this is the benefit, you can apply security when you are inheriting to the next level. You can have any number of inheritance, any number of levels also you can go, but based on the mode it will be used. So students, here I think I made you clear that how we can inherit the properties of base class to derived class. Now this visibility mode will make clear the property should be behave or the access in the derived class. The visibility mode tells. If it is private, it is there, then all the data, whatever it's, even though public or protected in the base class will be there, it becomes private only. If your mode is there protected, then whatever data you are inheriting, that is public or protected, that becomes protected only. Only if you are going for public visibility mode, that time if data is there public, that becomes public in the derived class. If it is protected, then it will be protected. So it retains as it is if you are going for visibility mode is public. Other than public, if you are going, then it becomes according to the visibility mode. So output of this program is, so it will ask with you enter the sites 10 and 20. So you are inputting this function because it is there in public, so we could access, and 10, 20 we entered, and the display it is executes at rectangle area. So rectangle area equals to, and compute function, it computes and it returns the value. So 10 into 20, it's a 200. So 200 comes, it displays. So all three programs are work same way, but their scope, their access in the derived class as well as in the outside the class, how it is there, this is what I specified. So students, let me conclude here. We have discussed already inheritance means what, need for inheritance in C++, defining derived class, and the different visibility modes, that is public, private and protected, with examples in the session 23 and 24. The left out part, that is different forms of inheritance and relationship between the classes, we are going to see in the coming sessions. Thank you very much. If you have any related to this doubts, you can reach me. I have specified my mail ID. My mail ID, if you want, you can note it down. arundsilva10@gmail.com. Any comments or anything if you need from my side help, I'm there to help you. May God bless you. Thank you once again. Have a great day.